person for a guy like me. And your eyes are shiny like you don't see. I wish you could be mine for eternity. Could you please be mine? Hey, you trapped my soul, you broke my law. I think you're safe, cause you stole my heart. Stole my heart. Trapped my soul like a superstar. Start, bazooka, start, cause you're my 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 start. You're the perfect person for a guy like me. And I know for sure that we are meant to be. If your heart is locked where I may have the key, could you please be mine? Hey, you trapped my soul, you broke my law. I think you're safe, cause you stole my heart. Trapped my soul like a superstar. Bazooka, start, cause you're my start, bazooka, start, cause you're my start, bazooka, start, cause you're my start, bazooka, start, cause you're my start.
And that pretty much is the story of how I lost my virginity. Wait, was I muted for all of that? Anyway. Hi guys. Welcome to another underwater stream. We're on part 18, Jesus. 18. I've done 18 streams of just this coastline. Not underwater though. Hot dog, thank you so much. Jesus, Roni in. Alright, Quapana with the rock. Alright. But yeah, wow, 18 streams to do the coastline and the underwater so far. What do you want your rock to be called?
Drink water, bitch.
This is gonna be one of those streams where I'm not gonna get a word in, is it? Quapana it is. You know what? I'm gonna give your rock a good purpose, Quapana. The very important thing about these rocks is they're big, so they can hide occlusion planes. And occlusion planes means better performance. This looks like it would never get boring. You know what? It doesn't get that boring, really. Especially when you guys are, you know, entertaining me. That was Star. Good afternoon, Zephos. Fred F with the Prime subscription. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is super nice of you. Ectoplasmic, thanks so much for the follow. I'm using a different mouse right now, so I don't know if this is gonna throw me off. Nice fluffy cauliflower. Namokum! Welcome. I had to be very... Oh my god, look at that. Memory usage is at 222%. 383 megabyte out of a recommended 172. Like I said before, don't worry. We have a lot of illusion planes. Are there any new underwater mobs in Oblivion? There are more variations. I know there's more variations of slaughterfish and mud crab. Hello, Magaroo. A rock needs there. Hey, Zacharon, with the rating party of 104. I appreciate that. You taking a break for today? Coming back later? For those wondering, we're doing underwater Blackwood coast. So get you guys a map up. So it's kind of all these cells here. You know, since we're introducing underwater combat into Skyblivion again, it's nice to give the player more than just enemies. Well, it's better to give the player more reason to go underwater than just enemies, which will be exploration. I'll be back tomorrow. Alright, thank you so much for the raid, Zacharon. Really appreciate that. So yeah, we're doing underwater detailing today. So a lot of coral. The Argonian ability of breathing underwater will finally be useful. Yep, and it will indeed. Wow, and we finally hit 400 megabyte memory usage out of 172. I really need to... I need to go wild with the occlusion planes, equally as wild as I have with the detailing. I may have to cut it down in a lot of areas. Do you know how actually getting into Skyblivion would work? If you're able to say, I was assuming you'd be able to pick Skyblivion or Skyrim when you start a new game. So the way it will work, it'll be a custom and it'll be like a separate install. So it will. That's pretty much how it works. It'll be a separate Skyrim install. So when you launch your Skyblivion, you start a new game, it'll always open up Skyblivion instead of the Skyrim start. That way you can, you know, maintain your modded Skyrim without breaking anything, as well as not looking to break your modded Skyblivion down the line. How diverse will the underwater flora be compared to something like Golden Coast of this area? I think it'll be pretty much the same, although if you see here, the coral I'm using, they're dead versions. Let me type in coral here. So, like, what's coral number one? Coral number one is these things. Wow, they are colorful. I don't have any of these in Black Marsh. There's the dead version of this. So yeah, essentially it'll be just way more colorful underneath. Like the grass here, what is that? That's Coral 41. So that's the not dead version. It almost looks too saturated, but in the Gold Coast it'll suit. Hello, Respar. Or Repsar, sorry. You're the 1000th, aren't you? Yep. We are. But yeah, I love the fact that, like, with Cyrodiil, we've had the opportunity of being able to design a place that has so many different regions. And we could design a place that has so many different regions, and we're even squeezing like sub-regions into those regions. Like different climates and stuff like that. And the underwater is no exception to that. You know, it's a completely different like environment underneath here as it is, you know, above here in the mangrove forest. As it, you know, usually is with underwater life. It's like an alien world. So now it's an alien world on a mystical world. Never really go underwater in the Elder Scrolls, but I guess it'll have to be now. Yeah. Awake, thank you so much for the follow. Are occlusion planes only flat, or can you define their shape? You can make, you've got occlusion boxes as well. Those are more suited for rooms. Oh, I turned off But other than that, no, you can't really do like an occlusion eclipse, which would be very, very useful, I admit. Because, you know, not every rock is a perfect square. How have I nearly hit 500? It was like 400 megabyte like a second ago. Jesus. I think I've broken a record on Skyblivion. Other than Blackwood, which areas have you worked on? I also, it's been a little while since I worked on it, but I do the painted world as well. And soon enough, I'll be, like once I'm done with Blackwood, I will be moving on to the Oblivion realms. Every landscaper is gonna get a number of Oblivion realms to work on. So hopefully we get to up those numbers. Because in original Oblivion, there was 8 realms distributed over a possible 100 Oblivion gates that could open, which is why when you played Oblivion, you definitely got like repeating gates. So hopefully we can get that number up to like, you know, 25 at least. And June Ice Cream, thank you so much for the follow. Will spellcrafting be in Skyblivion? Yes, we have a guy working on it right now. We had a guy who's working on it that, you know, seems to have gotten it working. It's just mostly tidying it up and getting it, you know, looking prettier, I think. It can be done, so... I don't think we have to worry about that. Be in it. I heard there's a CK glitch that prevents you making changes in the cities. Yes. Still not quite sure how to work on that yet. But... you know, knowing this team, we'll find a way. We always find a way to get by the bothersome stuff. We'll fix it. We'll find a way to work on it. Mepski, thank you so much for the follow. Oh. Oh, did they? Okay. Yeah, there's. I think I downloaded another VOD that I need to upload to YouTube. I'm guessing Skyblivion's music will be covers of the original music. No. It'll have the original music as well as the new soundtracks we've recorded for it. Whoa. I thought there were legal concerns around audio from different titles. Well, that's why it requires Oblivion to be installed. That way we can take it from your Oblivion installation. Nothing is distributed by us. As well as that, Bethesda actually made their original Oblivion soundtrack available on Creation Club, I believe, as well. Young Scrolls is too expensive to get. That's true. We can't afford him. Like people like Jeremy Soule, we can afford him. Hans Zimmer, we can afford him. Fine. We actually asked Hans Zimmer to compose some soundtracks for us, but he was like, "I would love to, but Christopher Nolan wants me to compose another soundtrack about time in one of his other time movies." So, you know, we couldn't get him. Couldn't get Jeremy Soule either. Young Scrolls, we had no hope. We can't afford Young Scrolls. No. He's too big now. I would really like to grab this piece of brass. It won't let me. Am I right in saying that? I'm pretty sure that Bethesda made Oblivion's soundtrack like downloadable as a mod for free on the Creation Club, didn't they? The voice actor for Nick Valentine was in Skyrim. He played the Bretons, didn't he? I know he voiced Bellathor, so I think Bellathor is a Breton. What exactly does the glitch do and does it affect all cities? The glitch, exactly what it does is it kind of it doesn't save. If I were to make changes, say for example, if I go into Leowin, the Leowin world space, and I move around houses, I move around sidewalks and stuff like that, and then I save my ESP, I save it, and then I like make a small change to the exterior of Leowin, and I go back inside, it'll still be, the changes will still be saved. But if I were to say, make a change to the landscape, so if I were to, you know, say, have a street go up at a bit of an angle, so I'd have to raise the landscape up and then raise all the houses and the sidewalks to kind of curve up like a hill. And then I were to exit the interior world space, or exit the city world space, make a change to the exterior world space, like the area around Leowin, and then go back into Leowin, all of the landscape changes will have reverted back. So, well, it's something to do with parent world space changes, which is one thing, but I think there's other bugs as well that I'm not 100% on. Some people have discovered some bugs, others have discovered other bugs. It's just something we'd rather get like sorted before we work on them. Menno, thank you for the save, and Zephos. What's the name of the rock you'd like? Maybe? Okay. Wasn't your last rock just called No? Yes? Oh, it was called Yes. Okay. Wasn't called No. So it was called Yes. Shadow Healer. No. Oh, it was called No. Hail, summoner. Conjure me up a warm bed, would you? Yes. So it is called Yes. How long am I going to keep this dumb joke going? Belethor is an Imperial? Is he? Okay, so he voices the guy who does Nick Frost. Not Nick Frost. Nick Valentine. He does the Imperial voice? Unless that's not how Skyrim works. Skyrim's more on a character basis rather than a race basis. Chat, what race do you guys... First Skyblivion? You all want to play as an Argonian. You all want to play as an Argonian. It gives you a reason to go swimming, doesn't it? Will the water textures change? Waters aren't final at the minute, so yeah, they are subject to change. Seen better water mode. Oh, the nerve. But yeah, our water does look a little poopy right now. Not literally, but no, quality wise. Random Coats, welcome to the stream. Wish we had more coral in real life. Why is that another thing we're kind of running out on in this day and age? You know what? I don't have that one. Dead. I don't even know what these things are. Amazing work. Thank you so much. Where did I went underwater. Okay. Or I went underground. Sea corn? Sea corn on a cob. And don't forget, guys, one of the other new forms of underwater life we're adding is the seahorses. And get your wallets out, folks, because we will be making that seahorse armor, and it will cost you your firstborn. What do you think takes the longest time when developing an open world game? Question. I think... No, what has taken us the long? Yeah, I can't quite give an accurate answer because it's different from an actual development studio than it is a volunteer studio. So what we've struggled with most is getting like 3D artists. What I can say has taken the longest time for us was just building the team. Get a lot of people saying that this project started in 2012. It really didn't. Like the first few like you know, conversions over to Skyrim's engine started in 2012, sure, but there was no team. It was just a bunch of guys, you know, up to no good, starting trouble in the neighborhood, getting Oblivion into Skyrim's engine, just playing around, with no real ambitions of kind of making a full remaster, and then things just kind of snowballed from there. And over the years, it just got more and more serious, and it's only been in the last like 2 or 3 years we've had a proper like staff. I don't know if staff's the right word, but a proper amount of people that can actually get us there. And there's kind of like there's a phenomenon that happens. I don't know if there's an actual term for it. There's a phenomenon that happens in game development studios towards the last year of development. Towards the last year and a half of development, where everyone on the team is so amazingly in sync with each other. They know what the end product is going to look like. They know what the end product should look like. They know what like every aspect of the game is supposed to be like, and everyone just works to their just complete best, their most amazing. And honest to God, it feels like we've hit that point where we're just nothing is too much for us. Everything that comes our way, we're just like, we'll deal with it, we'll fix it. Our team's amazing. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna get it done, you know, fairly soon. You know, we're kind of entering that last stretch. Sure, there's still a while to go, but at the rate we've been working, I'm sure you guys agree, like, compared to, like, last year, at the rate we've been working this, well, not last year, but early last year, the rate we've been working this year, and early last year, or late last year, has been insane. How much work has gotten done. So eventually we're going to run out of work, and at that point, you guys are going to be getting your hands on it. Kickinson, welcome to the stream. I feel like you guys have a lot of traction, right? We do. We have a lot of traction right now. Which the funny thing about it is, it's sometimes an unfortunate thing. Is whenever I joined the team, whenever I joined the team, we were kind of like still taking our time, kind of setting things up, you know, and you got time to adjust. But what's tough is for people to kind of join the project now. They see us working at a much faster pace and they feel like they can't slow down. You know, they get the impression that, well, I thought this was a volunteer project. You guys are going fucking insane on this. So I hope our pace that our new pace is not going to chase off volunteers who feel a bit you know, rushed. Zephos, thank you so much for the gift sub to Skyrim. Is Spyros still active? Oh yeah, Spyros is very active. I'm assuming there's no way this will come out this year, and I know there isn't a planned date, but would you expect 2023, 2024? Look, I don't want to get your hopes up, but what I'll say is 2024 is pushing it. And I don't mean pushing it as in that's too early, I mean that's too late. I like to think the game will have been out for a year by 2024. And I'm gonna regret saying this, but because normally we don't say years, but we've been working a lot, very hard, and like 2022, 2023 doesn't seem unreasonable. Like, I know 100% that the exterior world space will be finished this year. The exterior world space will be finished this year. We'll have gotten started on the Oblivion realms. Those won't take us too long. And then after that, all the landscapers will be going on to help out with interiors. And then once interiors are done, all the world spaces are done. Hopefully 3D will have gotten a lot done. And quests will already be there, just waiting, you know, to be injected into the remaster version. And we'll be good to go. Kyle will come to Ireland and spank you for this. Kyle said the same thing, okay? At least the Kvatch one, yeah. That's because Ludus ran out of work to do, which is, on a volunteer project, it's kind of a good thing. It means we're getting stuff done. He ran out of work to do, and I think the only thing that was there was an Oblivion realm for him. Though District, thank you for the save redeem. I haven't told Ludus this yet, but one of the things I intended was for the Kvatch realm.
Water, drink, water, bitch.
One of the things I intended for the Kvatch realm was for it to be started last. Yeah, he looted my plans. I planned for the Kvatch realm to be started last. The same thing with the Imperial prison at the very start of the game. I wanted the interior artists to do that last, because the Kvatch realm is the first Oblivion realm that you see. And the Imperial dungeon that you escape from at the start of the game is the first dungeon you kind of explore. So what I wanted was, I wanted the artists to be at their best by the time they got to that. So I wanted, to be fair though, Ludus is already like at his best right now. But I wanted us to be at our best concerning Oblivion realms before we went to Kvatch. So whoever it was doing the Kvatch realm, lastly, would be, you know, at their best. They know exactly how to do a realm. They've, you know, tested it in game. They've understood like how it's supposed to feel, how it's supposed to play. I always get the idea from other game developers, and that idea came from id Tech. Whenever they were designing the first Doom game, they designed the first E1M1. They designed that last when they were at their best, when they knew like how to make the player can feel how whatever it was they wanted them to feel in the level. Basically, making sure your first impression is the best. What are your hopes for Starfield? Honest to God, you know, what I'm most excited for Starfield is just to see the improvements to the engine. See what improvements there are to the engine. Because if I can see what improvements have been made to the engine in Starfield, then we can... That way everybody can kind of guesstimate what other improvements could come in Elder Scrolls 6. So I'm more excited to see the possible technological improvements to their engine. That's why I'm excited for Starfield. I hope we can use spaceships. From what I heard, that's kind of what it was supposed to be. I don't know if they're maybe taking a crack at their own kind of version of Outer Worlds by Obsidian. I think what I heard is you're going to be able to like, yeah, get into a ship and fly to a different planet, but it's not like procedurally generated planets. I think it's going to be more, you know, designed areas. Not going to be full open world planet, or at least that's what I think I heard. I have no specifics on the details on that. I would like Oblivion in space with Fallout 4 gunplay. You want Doom is what you're saying. I would love to design an Oblivion realm. Or just like a Hell realm for Fallout 4. Just to have some gunplay. I should be stoked for Starfield, but after Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, not so much. Yeah, that's understandable. That's yet another thing to... It's another thing I'm curious about, which is there's this chance to deliver on another single-player experience. You know, are they gonna deliver? It's basically their chance to, you know, say sorry or recommit to the single players with this game. Who's shit talking Detroit? What do you mean, the city or the game? I feel like Microsoft had to see Starfield and say that this game looks good enough before buying all of ZeniMax. Well, I don't think... I doubt that Starfield was the sole thing they had to make sure of when they were buying ZeniMax. There was so many other things that they were taking into account when buying that. For instance, id Software. To me, how much did they pay? Like, how many billions did they pay for ZeniMax? To me, whatever price they paid, that was worth it for id Software alone. id Software is still one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest and oldest game developers out there, and they're still kicking ass. $8 billion. 8 billion. Yeah, I would have paid 8 billion for id Software alone. Open world Doom game? No, no thank you. I like my Doom games nice and linear. Granted, if it was id Software, they'd probably find a way to make that work, but I prefer my Doom a nice single player linear game. I think Bethesda is paying attention after Cyberpunk 2077 and Fallout 76. After Fallout 76, yes. They would need to, it's their company. Did you see the Starfield leaked images? I did. Not much information to go off of from them. A leaked image is nowhere near as bad as a leaked gameplay demo, so not that much information you can get from that frame. Well, that might be the reason why we haven't heard about Elder Scrolls 6 in a while, because they're treating this the way Rockstar treats a game, or CD Projekt. They spend years working on the game as opposed to, you know, like a 2-3 year cycle. So, you know, they're going to show something, and Bethesda usually does do that with Elder Scrolls. They show something when, you know, they've got something to show. I don't think Bethesda are comfortable with showing off like early footage. The new leak had people going wild though. Why was that? I remember the images. It just showed, like, there were some images of like a UI, a ship. It just looked more like a modeling work in progress sort of thing. The graphics look good compared to last games. You know what? A lot of people say the same for Skyrim. People say, oh, Skyrim... A lot of people contrary each other as well. Other people say, oh my god, Skyrim looks so good whenever it came out. And people say, no. Nobody thought Skyrim looked good when it came out. We all thought it looked bad. And I don't know, I think the truth is everybody always just gets excited for a new release, so it looks good. Yeah, that's true. Everyone thought it looked amazing. And you know what? It's still, especially with Special Edition, even Special Edition with no graphics mods, it can still look really damn good. From an art direction point of view, not just like a updated volumetrics or anything like that. It's like dating, the new one always looks better than the last. Jesus, I would hate to date you. Alright, Zephos, what would you like your rock to be called? Perhaps. Perhaps what? I'm waiting. Oh, are you floating? You're not floating. I hope Microsoft allows other companies to take Bethesda's IP and make spin-off games using different engines, like Unreal 5. I don't know, engines are engines. I would just rather they improve their existing one instead of just switching. Because Unreal just isn't as... Unless the developers go out of their way to make it so, but Unreal just isn't that moddable. Like the developers for games on Unreal, you have to like go out of the way to make the kit accessible. And sometimes it seems like a bother for them. Microsoft should buy the original Fallout devs so they can... Yeah, they pretty much have. That's Obsidian. Granted, they're not... It's not all the original guys, but, you know, you have Tim and... Shit, what's the other guy's name? I'm blanking. The Tim and Brian Fargo, is that what it is? It's two guys, they both worked on Outer Worlds together as well. I guess I need to do... Oh, that's what you needed to do. Miguel and Marco, thank you so much for the follow. I mean, I don't... Is it right to say that it's 20 years old if it's been updated over time? The engine? Nungs, thank you so much for the follow. Has anyone noticed what I've been kind of doing here? I kind of like I just started doing it there, and I kind of like what I've been. It's nice redesign, I think. I've been kind of making these little like, I don't know, these little gardens. It's kind of like a little neighborhood. You have the kind of the wall of red grass that I'm doing, but it comes out like a little circle here, and then I can make a little mini environment, and then there's another one beside it. It's kind of like, you know, houses and gardens beside each other. There's another little one, and then beside it, there's another little one. There's another little one. There's another little one, and there's another little one. Kind of helps with breaking down a big cell into, like, you know, smaller bits. Yeah, it's like little like fish sanctuaries beside each other, like a neighborhood of fish sanctuaries. Unreal is even older. Heck, Half-Life Alex was made on I spinned id 3 Quicken. Yeah, you can actually look it up on the internet. It's like a family tree of game engines. A lot of things come from the id Tech engine. Source being one of them. Why did one just delete? Five-minute loading screens? Was that on PC? What did you think of Fallout 4? I still had a lot of fun with it. Sure, I wasn't in favor of the lack of role-playing in it. Not a fan of the main quest line. And Scott, see when I finished the main quest line, that's when I really started having fun with Fallout 4. And I'm still kind of playing it. I still have my save file. And honest God, that's where I've been having the most fun. which is the fact that I no longer have to look for my son. I can just enjoy the game. I can enjoy the game, and I can, like, me and Nick can go on adventures and do, like, you know, private detective stuff. I like it. I couldn't do that whenever I had a, you know, a stupid baby lurking over me all the time. You can probably tell I'm not a parent. It's like the forest screw looking for your son. But see, I can't do that. I have to roleplay. I have to role. If you tell me that I'm a father in a game that's, you know, usually a role-playing game, then I'm gonna roleplay as a father, and to me, what a father would do is finding the child is priority number one. Like, no, I don't care if a settlement needs my help. My son's missing, you know? So, you can't enjoy the... You can't enjoy the many side quests the game has to offer until that's over. And I know everybody loves to praise Obsidian's Fallout New Vegas, but it is so much better. It gives you a reason to, like, not necessarily go after main quest, which is, you know, that bastard shot me. I gotta find him. Because there isn't that much to it. You know, it's a simple quest. You would hold off on finding the guy that shot you in the head, so you would maybe to recoup and get some good gear before you go after him. So that gives you a reason to do side quests and stuff. But no, can't focus when my son's missing. It's not good. I hope in Starfield they don't have loading screens. If it's being made for Mr. Helson, what would you like your rock to be called? If they're making Starfield exclusively for current gen, or the new gen, I'll just call it new gen, because people get mixed up between what next gen means. If they're making it exclusively for new gen, then I imagine they're gonna try and do something like that, get loading screens out of it completely. They even started doing that with Fallout 4. Sometimes you would enter through a door and there would be a loading screen, but when you're exiting, you would go into an elevator and, you know, there would be no loading screen. The elevator was the loading screen, but you'd still be able to walk around. And then, boom, suddenly you're outside. I like that. So they already kind of started with that. I think that Fallout New Vegas is way better than Fallout. Yeah. I have more fun with Fallout 4. I guess let's just wait till Fallout 4 New Vegas guys get done. Those are the ones I'm really looking forward to. I'm so excited for Fallout 4 New Vegas. I'm stoked for Fallout Miami if it ever happens. Fallout Miami as well. They have like their trailers are some of the best trailers I've ever seen. A lot of games now have minimal loading screens, and yeah, if Starfield's an exclusive next gen game, then yeah, there's a possibility there won't be any loading screens anymore. I've never. I remember I played ESO for like the beta test back in the day, but no, I haven't ever actually played it lately. Not opposed to playing it. I would like to give it a try sometime. The thing is, I don't have any time. Got the name of the rock. Oh yes. Sorry. What did you want it called? Also F17. Thank you for the save. Mr. Helson, you wanted it. Okay. I'll place an appropriate rock for you. I have no idea what that name means, but okay. Rock. How do you feel about No Man's Sky? I personally love the game. So do I. I love No Man's Sky. I have a really bad review of No Man's Sky on my Steam, which I still need to update because I reviewed it badly when it first came out for obvious reasons. But as people are probably aware now, that game has redeemed itself, you know, 10 times fold. And I've played a crap ton of it. Well, maybe not a crap ton. How many hours have I spent in No Man's Sky, I wonder? Let's see, No Man's Sky. Not as much as I thought. I have 157 hours in it. But I really like my little outpost that I've built. I love it. But yeah, there's a crap ton in that game to do. Like, I honest to God, at this point, I feel bad for Hello Games because I feel like they're allowed to start charging for expansions for the game, but they're still not charging people. They're just giving all this amazing stuff away for free now. I feel like they've made up for it now, and they could, you know, maybe start charging people. Really wish I could just form these to the slope, but times the engine just doesn't let me. Constant need to mine was a turnoff for me. I think they've introduced some things that makes it less grindy now. They have. Saving. Just to let people know I'm saving so they don't redeem it. Believe it or not, I do sometimes remember to save on my own. Zephos, you would like a rock, would you? Righto. Acanello, thank you so much for the follow. I will place your rock in 1 second. I just need to. Manager is hell unstable today, so I'm gonna have to go. Please remember to save today. Hopefully I will catch the next stream. Alright, Mano. Thank you for the save redeems. In fact, I will I'll give you those points back now for the saves. Give everybody the save points back. Save. Reject all. Points have been. Wait, why are we use a fork for what? It's kind of funny, I'm designing this, I'm designing the layout of this place as if the player could walk, like, down here, but, you know, all underwater. Enjoy the stream chat. I always do. They're a fun bunch, and they keep me company. In Skyblivion, will there be a fork as a weapon like in vanilla? I'm sure that's easily done. I'm sure we can add that. And since, you know, Skyrim supports dual wielding, we can do knife and fork. Have you added any Easter eggs treasures? Not to the underwater yet. I've added some treasures, so I have, but not many Easter eggs. Well, I haven't added any Easter eggs underwater yet. What do you think would be a good Easter egg for underwater? Dead body called James Cameron? Oh! Jack! Like a part of a broken door, you know? Or how about like two skeletons, one called Jack, one called Rose. They're both dead on the door, and it's kind of like proven, like, see, if Jack had gotten on the door, they would have sunk, you know? This is proof, it's definitive proof. I feel like your world design will be better than the original game. Well, it's always I'm always inspired by the original game. Granted, I might not be inspired by when it comes to like being inspired by the original game, it's not like the actual physical area that I'm still getting inspiration from. It's the emotion. I know how I felt when I played Oblivion. I know how I felt when I walked around Cyrodiil. So it's more about me not trying to recreate the exact environment's layout as it was in Oblivion. It's about me trying to recreate how it made the player feel originally. If I can do that successfully, then not only will I have done that successfully for the players who remember Oblivion, but for the players who never played Oblivion. So a lot of, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, a lot of people like ask me like, do you have like a screenshot of the original environment open? Is that what you're like getting reference from? But the best reference for me is just always remembering like the feeling I always used to get from playing Oblivion. So that's what keeps... Music helps as well. Is that the last Skyblivion track? Elder Scrolls 6 should take place 200 years after Skyrim when the bombs have dropped. More control. Is there a common theme you guys are going for when remaking? Common theme? It depends what you mean or what it is we're remaking. Will there be some other underwater effect or Skyrim's see nothing effect? I mean, if there's a way for us to get, like, I would love water caustics. For anyone that doesn't know water caustics, it's like that shine effect it has on the ground. Like water caustics tends to cause that effect. Like I would love to see that like effect shining on the sand. You don't get that. In fact, someone made a mod to add that effect in Morrowind back in the day. So I don't see any reason as to why we shouldn't be able to, or at least even if we can't get it in to the build, you guys are always able to mod it, look better. Because I mean, when we release this, you guys are going to be able to mod it up to the eyeballs the exact same way as Skyrim was. We're going for like a high fantasy exploration theme, kind of like Lord of the Rings. I've said this before. The music did stop, but at least I'm talking through the silence. I've said this before. I think I said it on in chat in one of Kyle's streams. Like when people look at this game, when people look at Skyblivion in game, it's very colorful, and people are like, "Oh my god, you guys nailed down the saturation." Like I remember Oblivion being this saturated and like colorful. I love it. But if you go back to Oblivion, it's way less saturated and colorful than what we've got it as. So it's like that common joke where people post like a really good looking image and then a horrible looking one, and it's like the game versus how you remember it versus the way it actually looks. The way Oblivion used to actually look was nowhere near as colorful as we made it. So it was a memory that became more concentrated in our heads. And I guess Oblivion did always have that high fantasy kind of Lord of the Rings feel to it. So when it comes to us remastering it, we've kind of made a more concentrated version, at least how we remembered it. It's like I said, we didn't. It's not usually the images or sounds that really help us along. It's like the original feeling we got with Oblivion, and feelings can take you a long way. So you can get that Skyrim with EMB. I can't wait for someone to make an EMB for Skyblivion. There will need to be a compatible EMB, be it for Skyblivion's custom weathers. You won't be able to just download EMB and use like Rudy EMB for Skyblivion, because it will not look right. Rudy EMB is made to work with Skyrim's weathers as well as like some weather mods, but it's not been made to work with our weathers. Music. Abzu again. Beyond Skyrim should start working on Beyond Akavir. Those guys are very ambitious, so they might be. You never know. Alright, be right back. Little bathroom break. Have you tried the Fallout 4 creation kit? I think I have. I know that it has some extra features that this version doesn't have, which is a shame. I'm aware that some of the nav meshing guys, I think there's some nav meshing tools the Fallout 4 one has that the nav mesh guys on this team wish they had. We totally didn't try to port Skyblivion into Fallout 4 using no, sir. What exactly was the tools that you were looking to do? Was it like auto nav meshing or something like that? These were. There's a few additional commands, like you can set certain pieces of knowledge to not be used by large creatures. The auto generation is much cleaner than Skyrim's. Ah, right. Feels like everyone's making huge mods for Bethesda games. I mean, Skyblivion, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, the entirety of Tamriel of Skyrim. Also Skywind, also Capital Wasteland. There was actually a Bethesda employee, if you guys watch NoClip, the Bethesda NoClip documentary, there was an employee that put it really well. They said, they said that when it comes to like making games, they've been doing it for decades, and the thing is, modders have been with them the entire time. So not only is Bethesda getting, you know, like better at making games, but the modders that have stuck with them have gotten better, you know? So the modders that used to be like teenagers originally for their games are now, you know, middle-aged, working on much more ambitious mods themselves. So with every new, more ambitious Bethesda title, the mods themselves get more ambitious. Like there wasn't that many, if any, really, big ambitious mods for Oblivion. There was Nehrim that came out, that was really good. But no big teams. It seems Skyrim was just like when everything kind of matured and all the modding matured, got really serious. I think that's why that is. There's just so much. I know that, yeah, I do know there's more Oblivion as well. Yeah, more Oblivion's a thing. I don't think that's Bethesda that did that. Also, when it comes to things like that, no, this isn't Skyblivion music. This is Abzu. The Abzu soundtrack. I don't think it's really on Bethesda that happened. And Bethesda's never actually tried to stop a project from happening. Bethesda, if anything, are very open about that stuff. Bethesda don't just shut down a project, like a modern project. They give you a specific reason why there's an issue. And they'll help you out with that issue, so they will. Case in point, us. Instead of just shutting us down, Bethesda tells us, like, the conditions of this mod that we need to, like, adhere to. And it's, if you take companies like Take-Two Interactive, which they have no tolerance for mods whatsoever, no matter how you know, not their business it is. Even if it's nothing to do with their intellectual property, they will, if you're using like a mod, if you're using like a mod for like GTA, they go fucking ballistic. Like, honest God, I think Take-Two Interactive are equally, if not more, scumbaggish than EA at times. Bethesda has been nothing but nothing but welcoming of this mod, and it's certainly not the developers that have a problem with it. I don't even think the publishers have a problem with this. Abzu is an awesome game. I haven't played it. Craft Reaper. What would you like your rock to be called? I think this is a good spot for a rock.
Oh, drink water.
Rocky 3.
Water, drink water, bitch.
Erecting a dispenser. Wanted to be called Rocky 3. Ottoman, hello, welcome to the stream. Buford, how are you? Thank you for the redeem. Save redeem. One of my favorite games is Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it's open world perfectly. It's huge and has a ton to do. I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I think I'm pretty much I'm finished with the family quest. I think all I have to do in Assassin's Creed Odyssey is just hunt down the cult. But yeah, I've been enjoying Odyssey as well. It's a gorgeous game. The scale is massive. Yeah, it's a fantastic game. I wish we had their engine. Wonder if anyone will remake Skyblivion on the Elder Scrolls 6 engine. Well, you know what? If somebody does, it won't be us because we'll be done with that shit. If anybody does, they won't have to do much. All it'll need to be will be a straight port, I think. Because in my opinion, our armors and weapons are up to modern AAA standards, so they don't need remade. So all of the weapons and armor are done. It'll pretty much be the same for all the 3D models. So one of the toughest things for us will have already been done for that team. So all the 3D models will still be very usable for modern day standards. The environment, no. I may be biased, but I think it looks pretty damn good for modern standards. There might be some modern comfort features that the new one will have. They might want to edit, but if Elder Scrolls 6 did get remade on, or if Skyblivion did get remade on the Elder Scrolls 6 engine, it won't take nearly as long as we have. They will be standing on the shoulders of giants, I tell you. Fucking giants. Then again, we're standing on the shoulders of giants who originally made Oblivion, so we can't talk. Why is Abzu's soundtrack so good? Because it was composed by Austin Wintory. That's why. I'm honestly scared to download Skyblivion when it comes out. If I have to do it from Vortex, lol. No, yeah, it should be... I imagine it's going to be our own installer. Like, don't think about like what you'll need to do for Skyblivion when it comes to installing it is make sure you have a fresh install of Skyrim, absolutely fresh, no mods, no nothing. That's absolute paramount, 100% needed, necessary. Make sure you have that fresh install just waiting, and then I imagine it'll be like a, you know, kind of think of it more as a game download than a mod download. So you won't really be downloading it through any you won't be downloading it through any mod manager, because mod managers manage mods, not games. We need both Oblivion and Skyrim, right? With their DLCs? Yes. If you're wondering what the right version of Oblivion to get is, it's on our website. We have the Steam link on our website, which is the right version of Oblivion to get. And Special Edition. Wait, actually, I'm curious to know. Did we ever fix that? Yeah, okay, we fixed it. So we linked to the Special Edition of Skyrim, not the LE version, thankfully. Special Edition works? Yep. The Special Edition is going to be the only version that works, I imagine. We'll try to do what we can for LE, but yeah, we haven't really been developing on LE, the remaster that is. It's been Special Edition. Do you really keep up with the project after? Do you know how you guys will be handling voice acting, if at all? It'll be the same voices from Oblivion. We're reusing the voice files. Working hard? Hardly working. The game, I mean. The game's hardly working. It's this goddamn engine. I'm working hard. That's also a joke. The game actually works amazingly. For as much as we've modded this game, it's insane how well it works. Granted, I think my last stream ended with a crash, but you know, who doesn't? All my streams end with a crash and a burn. How big of a sigh of relief will you be taking when this project is finished? Animus Boris. What would you like your rock to be called? How big of a sigh of relief will I be taking when this project is finished? I won't be taking a sigh of relief. I'll be getting, honest to God, I will be getting a little concerned. I'll get a little sad because there's a big possibility that there's a lot of people that I've met in my life in this project that I probably won't be able to talk to again. There's a very common thing in game development where after a game releases, especially if it's a game that's like a developer's very passionate and, you know, very passionate about working on, there's this sort of what's the term? Not postnatal, because that's baby, but like post-release depression that a developer can get after they release a game. Because they're no longer able to work on that thing they enjoyed working on so much. Postpartum depression? Well, it's postnatal depression when it's depression after a baby. Isn't it? And then there's Shivering Isles. Well, I was factoring in the like the sigh of relief question to be after Shivering Isles as well. But yeah, like that will be a thing. A lot of Skyblivion devs will just kind of really miss working on Oblivion after, or see how I keep calling it Oblivion, as if it's, because it is Oblivion to us. It's like we got to, you know, go back in time and work on one of our favorite games, and now, you know. Well, it's not coming to an end any immediately right now, but you know, it's getting there, and yeah, there's definitely people we're gonna miss. This game's production has been wild for a lot of people, because we've met so many people, we've even lost people, so we have. And that's just kind of fueled us even more. Like the new friendships as well as, you know, the losses. Nothing ever... I suppose that just shows the passion that's in this project. Nothing ever keeps us down for very long. If anything, it's always just more fuel to finish it. Even though we're going to miss it. We will always have the streams. That's why I'm actually... It's one of the reasons why I started downloading them all and putting them on YouTube. It was... I'd like to just keep a little... memento. As well as archive. I'm a major big fan of the series No Clip, and... I love his determination to just keep as much of an archive on various games development as possible. You guys better stream after it's over. Yeah. Look at how many coral there is. I mean, just look at that. Look at that all along the ridge there. All along there. That's too much coral. It's a lot of coral. I'm looking for a fair bit, but no worries. We'll find a way to stay in touch. Yeah, and then you'll regret it, because you'll never be rid of me. Let me check something out, actually. That ain't the right website. Hey Joe, welcome back. I'm glad to have you. I tell you what, if Danny O'Dwyer ever wanted to do a no-clip documentary on Skyblivion, that would be a nightmare to shoot. Because we live everywhere, so it's not like he can go to one studio and do it there, you know? Has to like travel to like 50 people's houses. It's funny, I'm not exactly sure. Where am I? Okay. We've gotten a fair bit done. We've done like all of this bay, all of this ocean, a good amount of here, all of here. A lot more ocean than I thought. There's always more to do. But as I discovered yesterday, Cynthia's got more ocean than me to do, so I don't really have a right to complain. I don't like this tense music. Makes me feel tense. What's a no clip down? Like you fly over a map and shit. No, Ad Pollock, if you're genuinely wondering, no clip documentary is the by the way, if you were telling the joke, it can right over my head. If you were telling a joke, I hope you weren't. Otherwise, I look like an idiot. But if you genuinely are curious, No Clip is a game documentary series by Danny O'Dwyer, where he does, the making of, many different games. It's not a joke, thank God. I would look like such an idiot. But yeah, he does absolutely amazing documentaries on various different game studios. Where he actually, interviews the developers themselves. And one of the best things about, No Clip as a documentary series is the questions Danny asks, he asks them from the perspective of a gamer. He doesn't ask them, it's not really, it's not like just a job for him where he just asks somebody else's questions. He has very appropriate and relevant questions that he asks developers. It's just fueled by his passion. Still Abzu? Yeah. I gotta play Abzu because I do love short games and I loved Journey, so I did. So I feel like I would love Abzu. Did Abzu come out before Journey or after? After? Wait, really? I love how I love how I ask people that question, and then as soon as they answer, I'm still an asshole to like look up if they're right or not instead of just trusting them. Came out 2016. It did come out after. Okay. Did come out after Journey. Sorry for not believing you. Does anyone know what those guys are working on now? Imagine how entertaining this place would be if there was like really good swimming mechanics in Skyrim. It'd be really, really fun. Arbacheds. Thanks so much for the follow. Subnautica? Subnautica's pretty good. Subnautica is absolutely terrifying though, at times. Like I'm fine with like underwater environments, but as soon as like I'm inside the submarine in Subnautica and you start going down deep until at the point where it's pitch black in the ocean, yeah, that's whenever I start getting absolutely terrified. Like people, like it's a... Go in VR? No, thank you. People are terrified of Earth's oceans, never mind an alien ocean. Earth's oceans are already alien enough, so... to add extraterrestrial to that ocean fear, that's a whole bag of nope right there. But it is a ridiculously fun game. Skyrim's underwater is terrifying for me too. Like, I mean... people who fear underwater, it makes sense, doesn't it? To be afraid of underwater. We were so sick of underwater bullshit and just sick and tired of underwater that we just grew legs and lungs and got the hell out of there. Imagine being so afraid and tired of an environment that you grow limbs and get the hell out of there. Granted, give or take a few, you know, billion years. But yeah, there was a reason we got the hell out of there. We might not know what that reason was, but I'm gonna say it was a pretty good one. It's just so inhospitable. Yeah. Although I suppose at some point it was the most hospitable place. That's why I want Skyblivion water to be a bit clearer. You know what, this is like the colorful part of Blackwood, so you don't really need to worry on that part. scary because you feel so helpless. Another thing that could cause people fear of the ocean is its vastness. Because I like the times I have gone swimming in the ocean, I'm fine in the ocean when I'm just swimming, but it isn't until, see if I'm underwater and I look down at just like infinite blackness. That's what kind of causes me to go, no, getting out, I'm getting out. Are you detailing one cell of the coastline or more? I think I've been doing more than one. Yeah, I was detailing this corner of the cell. I've been detailing this entire cell. I don't really restrict myself to one cell at a time sometimes. It's more of a just like a general area, and that can sometimes incorporate several cells in, so yeah. I'm nowhere near disciplined enough to tell myself to stick to just one cell at a time. I'm terrified of squids. Have you ever seen squids, like squids latchers? Terrifying. Perpeus Mora, thank you so much for the follow. I like that name. Burp, what would you like your rock to be called? Oh, thank you, Plaz Horta, for the save. Wait. Animisvorus. I don't even think I placed your rock to begin with. Sorry about that. Did you redeem a rock? Let me check this. You did 20 minutes ago. All right. What do you want your rock to be called? Okay, so Burp wants his cock called Rock. He wants his rock called Rock E. Jesus. Christ. It's getting late. I genuinely did not mean to do. I'm still not sure I did that. Elizabeth Rockmontgomery. I like that. Elizabeth is the name of a queen, therefore I shall give it Queen's Crown of Coral. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 14? Have a friend of mine got me into it the other day. It's actually pretty good. I've never played a Final Fantasy game in my life, surprisingly enough. I don't know what the game is about, and at this point I'm too afraid to ask. Have you ever tried the creation kit for Fallout 4? Yeah, I have. I haven't had too much time in the... I haven't spent too much time in the Fallout 4 creation kit, though. What did you say the composer was? Austin Wintory. I'll put it in the... If you haven't heard his soundtrack for Journey, I really recommend you play it. If you haven't played Journey, play it. You'll cry like a baby. You say it's faster remaking Fallout 4 New Vegas, unlike Skyblivion? I suppose I can't really say, since I'm not on the team for Fallout 4 New Vegas. I imagine they have their own brand of challenges, like we do. I suppose when it comes to game development, even developing similar games, like even though both games are RPGs, I suppose they can still be vastly different experiences. Vastly different challenges. Depends who's on the team, you know. For one team, one problem might be a big issue. For another team, with someone who's had like experience at Microsoft, it mightn't be an issue at all. Because it all matters on the help you have. Alright, this is a big one. Greetings. If you don't mind answering a technical question, I'm starting to learn the creation kit 64-bit version, and I've found for a little while now that opening the quest window, I see half the tabs are invisible, inaccessible. I've tried restarting the program, restarting the computer, and nothing seems to help. Presuming you've encountered such a thing, what do I need to fix this kind of stuff? See, that's where I probably won't be able to help you, unfortunately, because I've never really done quest work in Creation Kit. Have you definitely like loaded data in it? Like, have you gone up here and, you know, the data, like, loaded? I know that's one of like the first things you learn to do in the creation kit, but sometimes stops people right there. Loaded data, not yeah. All right, I was wondering about that. I wish I could help you with that one because I don't know anything about quests. quest modding, sadly. Craft, thank you for the save. I've actually never even played the soundtrack. Yeah, I think I was the same thing. I had heard, I was...
Drink water, drink water, bitch.
Zoltar, thank you for the drink. It was the same thing with Journey and Ori and the Blind Forest. I had listened to the soundtrack so many times before actually playing it. And it was amazing playing the moments in games where I recognized the music. And then seeing how the game fit them. I guess if Skyblivion comes out before 2030, that's, you know what, I'd say that's a pretty safe, prediction. Do you have a favorite type of rock? Yeah, actually, I do. I do have a favorite type of rock, which is these ones. It's Ravana made these rocks, by the way. It's called Limestone 09. The thing I love about it is it's just a big cuboid. Or a cube. Cube and a cuboid are the exact same thing. I don't care what people say. Same amount of vertices, same amount of edges, and same amount of, you know, faces. Same exact thing. I love them so much because there's so much you can make out of them. They're just big, they're Lego blocks essentially. They're big Lego blocks and you can make so many things with them. And I have. Sedimentary, igneous, anamorphic. Yeah, see in real life when it comes to like rocks like that, or like knowledge of geology, oh, I'm hopeless. I don't have any of that. You know, you would have a geologist give me a rock and I'd be like, yes, 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 it's made of rock. That's all I'd be able to determine. I'm feeling compelled to put something here. See the way these rocks kind of come down like an arch here? This one comes down here. I'm feeling so compelled to put something here. See the way level design does that sometimes? Very compelled to put something there. Perfectly round stone orb. I think we have any. I go brick sized. My favorite tracks from Ori and the Will. Swimmer pools. Exploring nooks and crannies is one of the reasons I love. Let me guess. Closing my eyes so nobody gives me the answer. B. I'm blanking. I have no idea. Big Denny's orangutan. Big Donkey Orange or Black Desert Online? Black Desert Online, I would probably go with. I still really want to play something here. It has to be something cool. Actually, well, with her, hi, I need Jeremy in here. Jeremy! Tell me how big this is. I want to know the scale. Okay. Always nice to remind yourself of the scale of things. Just to keep in mind. Make people question its purpose. I mean, how far out? We're not that far out. Like, it's still in a playable area. I can't place any weapons because they just bloop, 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 bloop to the top. Think. Maybe they sink. You know what? Oh no. Big clam. I don't have clam singular. Whoa, what the hell? These clams are big? What the hell? These are normal sized clams, but aren't clams supposed to be like the size of your... Look at that. Massive. Is that normal size for a clam? I was gonna like... I was gonna put the clam in and scale it up, but I don't think I need to. Thank you so much for the follow. The soundtrack is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'll change this to something a bit more relaxing. Mepski. Would you like your rock to be called? Is there a gold pile in this, like in the assets? Big Tony. Big Tony. There's Big Tony right here. This might be going into too much detail. Fork in the skull? Why do you want a fork in the skull? A big fork? What the hell is up with these scales? That's a fork whose prongs like go to that size? Got jammed in the eye. I don't know. He pissed off a captain while he was, you know, dining with the captain. The captain took a fork, jammed it in his eye, cut his head off, and threw him over the overboard. And this is where his little head landed, maybe. I ain't a storyteller. Big fork and clams or very small skull. You know what? Yeah, that might be the case. Let me see if I can find another skull and compare. Skyrim one. Bone human skull. No, that's about, well, it's still big for a mom, isn't it? That's the Skyrim skull right here, and that one's the R skull. Wait, is eye patch not a default thing in Skyrim? Or was that a mod I'm thinking of? I think I'm thinking of a mod. This is the best bog so far. Can we give it a touch? Pretty funny bog. I would like something to how about okay, I'm coming up with a stupid story here to explain this. How about this pirate had like a Varla, or not Varla, had like Welkenstone crusted eye. You know the way pirates are always missing their eyes, you know? I just need something to give me an excuse to place a light. Where did you go? Where did you go? Fits though. He had a glass eye with a Welkin stone. Yeah, like a Welkin stone eye, you know? He was a rich lad. Looks like a madman, doesn't he? Alright, saving that. That's grim. It's more grim with 2 M's. Hello News, thank you so much for the follow. I know what to call him. That works so well as well. Captain Welk. Do you know what that's a play on? Does anybody know what Welk means? The Iliad word for Welk, what it translates to? No, wait, I'm wrong. It's not Welk. Captain Kind. Kind, the word in Iliad, do you know what it means? Blood? No. Kind in Iliad means child. Or you could say kid. Captain Kid. For those of you who know your pirates. Yes. See? Layers of Easter egg and reference. And I can pretend I meant to do that, but I really didn't. It just worked out. Nobody's gonna find that. Anyway. Peg leg. I'm betting someone's made that mod. Like a boot mod that adds, you know, a boot to one foot and a peg leg to the other. God damn it, John D. That fucking SNL reference. Where did I go? Did I go? What did I do? Okay. What time is it for me? Nearly 7 o'clock. How about we take a look in game, huh? On Central US for you guys. Alright. Alright, let's save it. Mod organizer. Wonder if there's a list of dungeons that might not have been started yet. Thinking about trying to remake. Specifically as an application, sort of demo. You mean any dungeons that haven't been started for Skyblivion? Because Joe, there is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of available. I just wanted to say I'm new to the community. Still gonna be that grayish brown filter when going into water. That I think that's more based off of the weathers. Oh dear. Doodles will probably finish them in a month. There's a lot of them though. It's all the caves, all of the fort interiors, all of the Iliad interiors, all of the normal housing interiors. There's a lot to do. I think a good way to go with an application for Skyblivion if you're applying to be for interiors is go with a cave. Since we're using the Skyrim cave tile set, going with caves will be a good idea. Application. Caves are harder, indeed. But usually with our interior guys, they all have their own styles. A lot of our interior guys don't even like bother with the interior tile sets. They'll use like one. God damn it. Give me that nice good weather. Wow. All right, John D. Have a good one. RCC, but I'm wondering, will it give me the right weather though? Not the one I want. Actually, well done. Set game hour to... That's creepy. Ah! I want Irish weather. Yeah. Wow, the underwater looks weird. Fog. I don't wait when enemies are nearby. Kill everybody. I don't think the water should be looking like that. That's the problem. Yeah. I'd rather, instead of doing RCC, I'd rather wait like 24 hours or something. No lighthouse? Not in this area. I was thinking about adding an area close by a window for a lighthouse. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. This is Blackwood we're talking about here. But I thought I changed the weathers to be nicer. In this area in particular. The Irish weather will not go away. What does nighttime look like? Well, that is spooky looking. You know what? If we're gonna want it to be nighttime so we can find our pirate friend. Shit. Forgot I'm not an Argonian. I think it's down here, is it? Yes, it is. He's not too obvious, which I like. It's nice and subtle. Is the sun coming up or something? Oh, it is. I wish the water fog wasn't so high. Are you going to make some unique weather effects for Skyblivion, except for the Oblivion yet? Yeah, a lot of weathers have been recreated. We'll definitely be doing stuff for, especially for the Gates of Oblivion, though. Alright, there was something else I was looking to show you guys. I showed this to the team yesterday. I'll find the right area for it, though. Because right now, in our weathers, we don't have volumetric fog in the game. I'm not sure if... Right, I'll try and... Now, granted, the only volumetric weathers we have are the Skyrim ones, and the Skyrim, you know... The Skyrim, like, colors don't look right, they're too dull, but I suppose what I'm showing off is what the area would look like with volumetric fog, not the actual lighting itself. Let's see, I'll maybe try this one. Yeah, like you can see the sun shot. And I hope you can see it in Twitch, like. Shield and armor don't seem to match too well. Well, yeah, don't worry. It's just the volumetrics I'm showing off, not the actual coloring of the weather, because it's all wrong, the coloring of the weather, but. Even pretty bright at night. Yeah, it tends to look very good in like dense forests like this. It's definitely not 5 years away, I can tell you that. It's actually 10. God damn you, Joe. Giving away company secrets. One second. I'm not able to see these. Ugh. Barrel Nut and Wizard, thank you so much for the follow. The weird thing about this weather is it kind of makes it... I'm not used to seeing this weather in, like, especially volumetrics. It kind of feels like I'm walking around, like, in a dream version of the area that I've worked on. You following me? It looks like he's following me. When did you buy a rock? Two minutes ago? Oh, we were in game. Like, just the way the volumetrics kind of come through like that is just beautiful. Well, this isn't even like our lighting we're using. This is Skyrim's volumetric lighting we're using. So, you know, once we get our weathers, which are more, you know, which are a better color palette for Cyrodiil. Once we get those with volumetric lighting in them, it's gonna look absolutely amazing. By the way, this is a big reason why I wouldn't stream Skyrim, because this is how I travel in Skyrim. I don't run. I don't do this. I walk in Skyrim, so it would be the most annoying thing for people to watch. The lighting just looks so weird at the same time. It just feels like a weird Silent Hill version of like Cyrodiil. Am I done for the day? Yeah, I'm pretty much done for the day. I guess we'll end it here in the Too bad you're the top Skyrim stream. I doubt that. I doubt that. I bet there's more people streaming Skyrim. Oh. Don't know if it's possible, but you should keep both lightings for diversity. Well, what we just want is the volumetrics. That's all we want. We don't need the coldness of it. Zilrax, thank you so much for the follow. Gotta get them volumetrics in our weathers. Oh, you know what? Let's take a wee stroll over to Azura. Not Azura. I always say Azura. Nocturnal. Since Chris had to redeem it, I have to do it on stream. Thank you, Chris. Why have I never seen the jug? Yeah, that's my comically large gallon. I had to outdo you in the Ludist, so I just had to get the biggest one. Well, there's... Oh, no. They were sitting, but I disturbed them. Does look actually pretty nice with this lighting, though. Here is fine. Oh, I'm walking outside of the... All depends on the time of day, I suppose, to get the nicest lighting. Headphones, thank you so much for the follow. I'll give you back the save points since we're not in the CK anymore. If that's how you read it, then why did you redeem it? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, the weather's changing? This ain't Skyrim weather. Weather. Oh my god, that's 4 a.m.? The lighting? Well, it's still too cold for Skyblivion, but you know, it's the volumetrics we're looking. Those volumetrics, those sweet, sweet sun shafts. Need them. This would look fantastic with an EMB. Don't need an EMB. You hear me? It don't need an EMB. But yeah, probably would. Look nice. Ah! Ow! Ah! Ah! In fact, I don't know if that even hit my head.
This ends here. Don't hurt me.
Sorry, what did she say? I couldn't hear her over the sound of me hurting her.
Looks like we've got a thief in our midst. Don't hurt me!
Thing I noticed though, the fog doesn't, the color doesn't match the actual volumetric fog's lighting, which is a problem. Why does this keep happening to me? My character just gets stuck and he just gets cold feet before he strikes. Oh god, this has happened so much. It happens every time I like hold it in. Alright, let me just try and like click it instead. Where did you go? Jesus, what a fucking hit. I suck at horse combat. I am so bad at horse combat. Come on. God damn it. Yes. No. Something just seems off. How many times do I have to miss? Oh my god. Oh, I keep missing. He just... did you see that? I was nowhere near. Like something's broken on the... Alright, you know what? Horse... I'm gonna calmly do... Did you... I was nowhere near hovering over her. Something's broke. The horse is broke. I'm broke. So, I don't know. Something's broke. But the volumetrics, they look very nice, don't they? Should mod horse combat? You mean fix it? Yeah, we need that Lord of the Rings singer, Renee something. But this is why I need volumetrics. Because, like, it's the funny thing, like, whenever I show off volumetrics, or no, whenever I show off Blackwood in-game, people say, oh, it looks so good, the weathers look so good, and all the while I keep thinking, we don't even have volumetrics yet, and people are saying they like it. Renee Fleming. Yeah, I think that's the name. I always end my streams here. Of course I do. The volumetrics come through here? No, not really.
Your money or your life.
Little cat.
Easily done. Today you die.
Come on. How about you?
Oh.
That's him gone. I love how you made that bandit. Yeah, it works really well. The only... Now we're ending the stream right now anyway. The only thing I would like to add is I want him, and there actually already is an existing animation for it. What I want for him is I want him to just be like, you know, kind of like sitting back on the beam, because he's so cocky he can just sit. He doesn't even need to hide from the player. He can just sit there. And I want to have, since he's a Khajiit, his tail would be like hanging down, a lot like the chain is. There's an animation, like a sitting animation. I think it's the one Astrid uses for the Dark Brotherhood quest. Whenever she's like sitting on that row of shelves in Skyrim. We could always like place that. There's a mark you can copy and paste from Warehouse. Yeah, like just put that kind of marker up there and have him use that. It'll be really good. So make him harder to fight. Yeah, I mean that would be nice. Then again, I am wielding Goldbrand, which is a pretty good sword. So that might be the reason why I easily beat him. Yeah, let's see. All right. Guys, thank you for joining me today. It was really fun. Thank you to specifically Zacharon for the raid earlier. Massive help. And thank you to those from Zacharon's stream who stayed. I hope you enjoyed the stream a lot.
You're perfect person for a guy like me, and your eyes are shiny like you don't see.
Only a little, only a lot. Well, from what I can see, our dear Roy is still streaming. Roy right now is retopologizing the Polisguard armor, which... Oh wait, no, he's playing Skyrim. Okay, he's gaming now? Huh. Read me? Kyle, you're not streaming, buddy. Wait, are you streaming? No, wait, you're talking to me. Why did I think you weren't streaming? Kyle, you can't read it. You know this, Kyle. You have more followers than me. You can't read a stream when you're not streaming. But yeah, you know what? I think I'll end this stream by letting you go your own ways. Go your own paths. So yeah. Thank you guys again. I'll be streaming tomorrow at around 3 o'clock GMT. So I hope to see you guys then. In the meanwhile, well, we also have Kyle that streams interior work. We have Roy that streams 3D work, and Ludist streams exterior work and interior work. So he's a bit of a slut that way. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Cyrodiil, she is ailing. For centuries, the home of the Empire has been a province of peace and prosperity. But behind all the beauty, a danger is brewing, waiting for the opportunity to strike. Prince of Destruction awaits, born anew in blood and fire. My gods are strong and true, but even the might of the blades cannot stand against the power that rises to destroy us. Take my amulet, give it to Joffrey. I have a secret son, and Joffrey alone knows where to find it. Find the last of my blood, and close shut the marble jaws of Oblivion.